Greetings from Storybrooke. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I am not Merideth Placko.
No, Anne-Marie's not here, unfortunately, but this is Becca Canote, and we're
everyone.
pleased to have all you guys here today. Definitely. Have you guys been enjoying RegalCon so far? Yeah. Excellent. Before we get started and everything, I thought, just kind of liven the room up a little bit. We're going to do a little exercise. Can everyone stand up for a second? Okay, I'm waiting for everybody. Everybody? Okay, sit back down. We're good. All right, let's go. Okay, so before we get started, as I mentioned, my co-host Anne-Marie isn't going to be able to be here, but
Nope.
I went to check my email this morning, and she had a video file for me. She said she wanted to send you guys a special greetings, but I'm sure it's just something like, oh, I wish I was there, blah, 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 have a good time and stuff. But if they want to go ahead and play that, can we play that? Play the clip, please. One moment.
Technical difficulties. I don't know how to sit on a couch anymore. I'm like,
See, I just like laying on the couches.
just the whole.
Just kick your legs up.
Hey guys. I'll just take a nap.
Okay, there we go.
Storybrooke. I'm on that. Yeah. There we go. And I've got Kristoff. Because, well, Frozen happened. So I've got Kristoff. Spoilers. He's the author. I want my tea. I want my Emma and Neil. Bring back Neil. I need Neil back. Hi, Kristoff. I should be a RegalCon too. Spoilers. Blue is gonna become the dark one. She's kind of already the dark one though. But no, she's really gonna become the dark one. And Rumpelstiltskin is German. He's German. And Emma's gonna become a fairy. And Henry is actually gonna turn into a lizard.
Well, thank you very much, Anne-Marie, for that very sweet message-ish. I don't think any of those were real spoilers except for Rumpel being German, though.
Yeah.
So good to know. Okay, so let's see. What we're going to do to start off with is we're going to go ahead and talk about a little bit about this past week's episode. So, Becca, what did you think of the episode overall?
Just gonna sneakily pull my notes out here. None of
I
you
have
see
mine here,
this.
too.
It's cool.
By the way, for listeners of the podcast, this is my official Greetings from Storybrooke notebook that we do all the notes in. The entire season 4 is in here.
If anyone wants to buy that after the panel, I did not steal it. Or won't be. I mean, it's. Shh. Don't tell Bill.
Okay,
No.
I'll put that under the chair.
I think my best reaction to this week's episode was when I went to go rewatch it on Hulu this morning. I pull it up, and the description on Hulu's text was one sentence, and it just said, "Regina confronts her mommy issues." Period. I turned to my roommate and I was like, "That's it. That's the whole show, right there."
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, and we were talking about this in the Heroes and Villains panel on Friday, but Regina's she's kind of like the main character. I mean, I know Emma's the one on the posters, but Regina's the main character.
Yeah, Emma's in the little like Hulu promo. Watch it this Sunday. I'm like, no, okay, you're just you got a sword. It looks cool, but yeah, I mean, it was really how appropriate. We're sitting here on Mother's Day talking about an entire episode of just mommy issues. Just, little self-over-identification in it. It was just like, oh man, yeah, that was me and my mom, except I never turned into a dragon.
Yet.
Shh, I know, seriously, if only.
No, but one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is kind of the role of fate in Once Upon a Time. Now, last week, one of the big lines was our actions are our own, but fate pushes us. And you have the wolf in the road and everything like that. So, in the Once Upon a Time universe, there's free will, so there's free will, but fate pushes us to make bad choices, is what they're saying. So it sounds kind of this fate phenomenon sounds kind of similar to the author in that it's a force above like all the other forces kind of manipulating the story or their lives and everything. But I kind of feel like fate, since they revealed the author, they still needed that kind of like superior force or whatever, so they've introduced fate and the guy who puts wolves in roads and things like that. But one thing that the wolf and Lily showed, that whatever fate is, it has an effect outside of Storybrooke, because we know we haven't seen, except for the dragon, we haven't seen much magic outside of Storybrooke, but obviously whoever or whatever fate is has some sort of sway in our world, in the real world and everything. So I've just been kind of like wondering about, like, what do you think? Do you think that this is actually going to be like a revealed character? Do you think it could be the sorcerer? Like, what do you think, Becca?
I mean, of course, I would hope it would be the sorcerer. I mean, we've had such build-up with the hat and the apprentice and everything that I feel like if you're going to go down that road, you have to introduce a sorcerer. Whether it's Jensen, Jensen as we've known him from kind of Fantasia, or some other character yet to be revealed. You have to. You can't introduce everything and build that up and not have a sorcerer and you have an apprentice and a hat. Come on. And I'm hoping that's either something we get in the finale or has a big play in the 5A, part of the season of what could happen in the finale and things that we've led to in here that we'll have to see play out with heroes and villains. What's his role going to be? Because there has to be some kind of creature, being, person, dude, entity that gets in there with this fate card, because it has been so huge to 5B and 4B and what can you do to change your fate? What can you do to control your destiny? And I'm not going to do a bad, terrible Brave impression here, but I could have.
No, and it's kind of weird too, because I feel like the point is slightly like thematically muddy just because of the episode. I believe it was the Heroes and Villains episode last season where they find the page and they kind of like wrapped up that scene between Robin and Regina. Oh, you are in charge of your life. And then this half season, oh no, there's an author, there's a sorcerer, there's this guy, there's that guy. But I have a little theory about it, and that's basically like, I've been thinking a lot about the sorcerer and everything, and why he's trapped in that little stone room down there. And I think, there's someone, and I mean, Anne-Marie mentioned it in the video, there's someone, a shady character on Once that has been shady from the get-go, and that's Blue Fairy, Hegalicious. And I think that her and the sorcerer had some sort of like falling out, or like they were both vying for control. And I think Blue Fairy trapped the sorcerer down there, and because the sorcerer was trapped down there and he couldn't do anything, he had to hire sort of like, I kind of call them like fingers on his hand to kind of manipulate the world around him to maybe free himself. Like, and they all start with like the author, the Dark One, the Savior. And so I think that these big characters with the at the beginning of their name, that it's kind of the sorcerer trying to get out of there so he can finally take Blue down once and for all. Because I mean, do we want to see that, or do we want to see at least Blue to find out why Blue is so shady? I think probably.
Oh yeah, I mean.
What's that?
She said she hoped she'd be taken down.
Oh yeah. Well, I would kind of like almost to see like just kind of like a Blue
Showdown.
revealed, like super magical, like that'd be fun.
Like Galadriel status when she's in her crazy dream world.
Yeah.
I could see that
Or like
showdown.
Wings
Like that
of
could
Fire.
be great. Oh, that yeah. Do we have that kind of budget?
I don't know. Well, Chernobog probably took the Firewing budget for sure. So what's your point you want to talk about, Becca?
Oh man, like a point. You made me come up with points.
Yes.
Honestly, I spent most of this episode just really, really waiting for Lily to finally turn into a dragon, because I was like, come on, you can't tell me there's going to be a dragon. You can't build up this descendant of Maleficent and not give me a lot of really good dragon time. We've got some good dragon time, and I want more dragons. I just want a lot of dragons. I'm the kid watching Game of Thrones who's like, there's not enough dragons. Excuse me? dragons, please. I hope we see more of her character. I kind of like the little arc that she's had, and she sort of has come to terms with the fact that, you know, the whole conversation of fate, if she just thinks she's this terrible person, everything is not going to go her way. You know, even when she tries to do good, she makes a bad decision. And I like that we kind of get to see Maleficent be like, oh, revenge isn't really worth it, even though I'm kind of, I don't know. I wasn't totally into that, but I sort of, the line where she's like, let's go be like badass dragon bitches together. That's what I want to see more of. I like when you can have this resolution of these character moments and people coming to the new ground and sort of wrapping up moments, which I think was such a big part of this episode, was, you know, Emma kind of finally forgiving her parents and, you know, Lily sort of accepting that she has to try and find a common ground with her mom for what she did. And what this is what do we get out of that then? What can we see now that these little storylines that have been so important so far, the conflict and the strife between, you know, especially mother-daughter units, is sort of getting resolved. So do we get to see the happy side of that, of what comes out of them doing things, which should just be a lot of badass dragon bitches?
Yeah, well, I've actually been thinking that, and it was kind of felt like a dog whistle or something when they had Maleficent in Regina's office.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I almost feel like they're aiming towards maybe next season making Maleficent the mayor of Storybrooke, and maybe something happens to Regina.
I mean, she'd probably be a better mayor.
Obviously,
than
then
Mary
Lily
Margaret.
would become a much bigger character.
Oh, exactly. And I feel like you can't introduce a character like that and then just get rid of her. I mean, she turns into a dragon. Come on.
I really like the way they set her up, though, where they just kind of introduced her in a one-off kind of flashback last half season. We were like, they'll probably come back to it someday. And no, it's a major part of the story.
Actually, that's a very important character.
Okay, well, I guess we have one other guest we want to bring up, and this is if you guys listen to our podcast, you probably listen to one or two other Once podcasts. You probably listen to this guy's podcast, Jeff Roney from the Once Upon a Time fan podcast. Come on up, Jeff. Jeff. You're on the big couch.
Everybody.
There work. Is it on it now?
Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Slim Shady, Blue Shady. It's all shady.
So, Jeff, how have you been enjoying RegalCon this weekend?
Very good.
Yeah, just a blast, right?
It's been really cool. It's smaller than Comic-Con and just as fun.
Yeah.
I can't bump into people in the hallway at Comic-Con. I can't hear.
Yeah, like I most of my convention experience has to do with DragonCon in Atlanta, where I'm from. I think that's where I met you, Becca.
It is DragonCon, yeah. We had a fun time at DragonCon.
But that's just like 25,000 people packed into a 10,000 people bag. Like it's just insane. And so it's been nice going around here and everything to just kind of be very relaxed. And you know, there's no crowding in the halls. The only time I even had any sort of like feeling like crowding was at the cocktail party the other night, just because it was so hot, because there were so many people there. But it was still such a blast, though. And the ball last night.
That was great.
I did so much not dancing. It was ridiculous.
Well, Gil McKinney danced for you, me, and the other people. Give it up. Give it up for Gil.
The dance group is still here from earlier.
That's
cool.
right.
Just make me feel bad about not being.
You better
here
watch out.
last night.
Like, I was actually sitting back by you guys during that panel, and like the first time you did it, I was like, ah! Like, you guys totally almost took my ear out. If you do that again, I'm going to sing Part of Your World, and you don't want me to, for sure.
No, please. I mean, it's okay. You can.
Okay, Part of Your World.
No.
Jeff, what do you think about season 4? Last week's episode.
I enjoyed it. I liked the little moments when Maleficent was really kind of being motherly to Lily as a dragon. Oh, you know, her wing clipped a tree. Oh, it's like her watching her baby walk for the first time.
That moment when she
Fly.
first sees her in the road and she's like, oh, she looks just like me. Like,
Yep.
oh.
I love that. And it's so different than what we experience as humans.
Yeah.
But in that show, it made perfect sense, just that connection. And I kept wanting that last week's episode to be shown this Sunday. I mean, perfect for Mother's Day. It was really great.
Oh, yeah, there was something else. I forget what it was. There was something else. It feels like they scheduled a couple of the episodes to take place on certain days, and then they got bumped ahead a week or something like that.
Right.
But definitely. Let's see here. What other points do I have here? I really liked the author and Rumple kind of teaming up there at the end.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting, though, that the author, and I talked about this on the Heroes and Villains panel too, but it felt like the author was just trying to find somebody to put a story in the book, like somebody to give him a story where he could, and I mean, it all depends on what his motivations are going to be going forward or revealed as tonight. But I think he was just looking for someone to give him a story so he could slip a few little key points that he wanted to kind of address in there in his own life. Do you guys have any ideas about what that might be? What do you think the author's motivation could be in all this?
Well, I mean, it comes back to kind of what we were saying with the potential of fate and the sorcerer and sort of where does he play into this, and could we get something more with it? I mean, when we met him as just sort of the peddler, and who's this peddler? And of course, he was going to have more to do than just this peddler. But
Peddle.
Peddle. Just what are you doing? I'm peddling.
Do 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 do.
But it's such a specific skill set to be that guy, the guy who can make all of this real and come to life and have that power of influence. That, like, in my head, I've always sort of had that thought of like maybe it's you. Maybe you're actually like the sorcerer escaped somehow and has taken up this guise as the author, and I'd like to potentially see that. It could be interesting, and
like a double, triple, quadruple twist kind of
all
thing.
All the twists, like 50 blinds. The scientists doing the study are actually the ones being studied by the people in the study by the aliens. I mean,
Exactly.
It was X-Files. That's what would happen. But I don't know. I mean, I've had this horrible thought too of like, oh, they're just gonna kill him. They're gonna kill him, and we're gonna be trapped in like Heroes and Villains universe after this week's finale. But I would like to see him become. He can be pretty shady too. Maybe like him and Blue have something going on that maybe he's trying to like, again, like a double blind back on the sorcerer who wants things to go one way, and actually he's just working for Blue Shady.
Maybe the author is actually Blue. I like that. Blind moan. Mind blown, rather. Okay, so actually that's a really interesting idea you bring up, though. Like, what do you guys think that we're going to get kind of a new continuity or something out of this, or do you think it's going to all reset back? Because I mean, there's still a lot of character threads out there that they need to seal off. Like, well, they did Snow and Charming and Emma last week and everything, but there's a lot of character moments there that they kind of have to pay off that they've been setting up all season. So it feels like it won't be like a hard reboot or something. But what do you guys think?
About tonight's episode?
Yeah, about tonight. Do you think towards the end of it we're going to get like a reset back to the reality we know?
I do. I think we're going to see a moment like Welcome to Storybrooke when Regina realized what she really wanted wasn't what she thought. And I think at the end, when the when the villains all get their happy ending, they'll realize it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And they'll say, we want to go back. Like Lost, we want to go back, and that's what I think. It's like a Fantasy Island episode.
Yeah,
it actually just is Lost, and we just go to the island.
There you go. Jorge Garcia will be waiting there. Hey guys, we got food. So
we're good.
Like I don't know if they come up with a new author or something. I would almost like to see a season where they do like different versions of the timeline, like the whole season. Because over the hiatus. Back in January, we did a bunch of specials called Once If, where we asked questions about, like, I don't know, what if Rumple didn't become the Dark One? Or, and it came up in this week's episode, what if Selena wasn't in the story at all? Yeah. And so I think that could be kind of a fun thing. Kind of take the characters and the concepts we know, but then make it kind of like an anthology series for a season or a half season.
I think we need a 5-year-old author. Some little girl or boy writing. Snow goes outside, has fun, then goes back inside. Done. I mean, or it could be Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, we got dragons.
Everyone is brutally murdered.
See?
Oh.
Snow was naked. There were dragons in the sky.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
they
that
may
took a
have to move
turn.
to 10, but,
Okay, so what do you guys want to see in tonight's episode? What do you think is going to happen in tonight's episode, realistically? I mean, we'll get into the crazy predictions in a minute, but realistically, what do you think is going to happen?
So much more fun. My crazy predictions are a lot more fun than my realistic ones. I will say that. Realistically, it's just been my thought, and with this whole heroes and villains thing of how do we up the stakes, and Horowitz has said like season 5 expects a change of state, or like a change of, it's not going to be, oh, we did Frozen that time, we went to Wonderland that time. It's something is going to change fundamentally about the show, be it a character death, stuff that happens in this episode. And the only thing that could hit me that was be like a huge change of state is if we get stuck in heroes and villains, or in some variation, like you said, that possible free mythology is, what if the author dies and we don't know who the new author is, and we have to go, it's some quest to find him, or it is like a jumping thing. And because that's a fundamental change of the show. If you go totally topsy-turvy, even for just half a season, there's really, that's the biggest you can go. How do you come back from that, and how do you do anything different than saying, actually, everyone that you've fundamentally gotten to know, everything that you understand about the show is inverted for 12 episodes, and then we work it out, but let's do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see him die. I want to see him die, big blaze of glory moment, and then it's just like, well, this sucks. Oh.
Yeah, how about you, Jeff?
I think it's going to be really the look on Regina's face, Rumpelstiltskin's face, as a hero, when they kind of have that double, when they realize, and it really, they have this epiphany, I am a hero for the first time in my life. I'm getting everything I wanted. That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to look at the camera and go, it's like, I mean, that's going to be the best fun. And I think that's what's really great, because we're so used to these characters being evil, not good, doing all these things. And so.
I should also say, I'm also kind of looking forward to the potential of Hook as sort of like a lame guy do-good pirate. Like, is he going to be back in his, like, before he was a pirate self, or is he just going to sort of be like, I can't really steal your stuff,
I almost feel like
I got a boat.
I almost feel like he's going to be a cripple married to Mila. Like, I think that would be very fit. That seems like Rumpel's sense of humor.
Just no hand, no hook, just this like stump.
Yeah.
Just kind of just like plowing through the dirt with just a stump.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be good, and I really like that they're doing such a fanficky concept, because I'm a guy who's been reading fanfic. Like, I used to read Lois and Clark fanfic back in the 90s.
I wrote Lois and
the
Clark
90s were nice.
fanfic.
You shouldn't go there, though. So it's just nice to see such a fanfic concept, and it being done as canon, too, which is kind of, and it makes sense with the whole, like, meta-narrative of the author and stuff, too, for sure. As far as me, for a realistic prediction, I think that... I think Emma is going to break up with Hook and start dating Mr. Gold. That's my that's my crazy prediction.
Oh.
So I guess
you skipped ahead, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I did.
all right.
Liz, are you out there? Excellent. We're gonna give out some prizes here. If you want to bring up the box real quick, Liz?
Prizes?
So I can show them off.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Prizes
this is
from
Liz,
us.
one of our listeners.
Really, from
Everyone,
Liz.
give a hand to Liz.
Give it up for Liz. Come on, Dance Squad. Give it up for.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Jeff, I'll let you describe these since you donated them.
Oh, these
very
are special cookies. They are Once Upon a Time cookies. One is a hot cocoa and cinnamon cookie, which is baked at a gourmet place close by. The other is an apple pie cookie. It's not cursed, nor will it put you to sleep. But after the premiere, you probably, or the finale tonight, you may go to sleep. Anyway, the third one is the Beck's-inspired green tea chocolate chip cookie. There's also some very nice chocolates in there. So if you're having a bad day, you might want to pull this out, or you might want to eat it tonight from 8 to 10. So.
Yeah, and the way we're going to do, we have a ton of prizes, so the way we're going to do it, oh, yes. What's that? We'll get there. Just one second, okay. I was going to show you guys the prizes first. Then we have a Captain Swan hoodie.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yeah, Dance Squad.
And we have the new Marvel Comics Once Upon a Time graphic novel.
Yes.
It looks so good.
Signed by Bill.
I can,
See?
but
See?
you might want to not have me
Oh,
sign it because
all
it
right.
will be worth less. Completely random, a CD of jazz covers of video game music.
Hey.
And then 3 copies of my book because I'm a total promotion whore. So there we go. Okay,
He's a writer too, beside that.
Yes, definitely. But what we're going to do here is, in order to be eligible, you need to raise your hand, and we're going to do crazy predictions. These are just like completely outlandish, the funnier the better, things you think might happen in Once going forward. And what we'll do is we'll whatchamacallit, we'll call you up here, and then we'll all decide whether you stay or go. And if someone goes in the stay column, they stay. If someone goes in the go column, they get to pick one of the lesser prizes. This is the grand prize right here, the Captain Swan hoodie. And then they get to go back to their seat or whatever. So, okay, anyone have any crazy predictions? You. Yeah, you can come up here. Here, I'll put the mic out for you.
Okay, so there's a new curse that gets created, and everybody has to work at a hotel with all these crazy people. And then all of a sudden, you see this bedroom, and Adam wakes up, and he goes, "Wake up, wake Edward, Eddie, wake up." So I just had this crazy dream where I was writing this really good show, and all of a sudden, I had this stupid idea of making him all crazy and all that stuff. And then before you know it, it pans out, and you see a snow globe of Storybrooke in the hotel and everything. And then you see Henry, and he's autistic, and Don't Stop Believing from Journey starts playing, and he's about to say something, and then it just cuts to black before he says it.
Very nice. A Saint Elsewhere reference, actually. Yeah, putting once in the Saint Elsewhere verse. Okay, well, I guess we have to vote as a formality, but he's the only one up here so far, so yeah? Yeah, we're keeping him? All right, go over here for a minute. Okay.
We've got more.
Snow globe and journey is always
next, 'cause
good.
you asked the question. We'll get to you guys back there in a second. All right, so what's your prediction here?
Mine's kind of dumb, but I predict that I'm going to be a new member and that Grumpy's going to fall in love with me, Lee, because he was flirting with me outside.
Okay.
You know what? I
I'll
think
keep her.
I
I'm
think a
keeping her.
Captain Swan hoodie would be a great. I think a Captain Swan hoodie would be like a great way to attract him in and everything. So what do you guys think? Do we keep her and lose him, or do we keep him and lose her? Just a show of hands.
We're got like a rotating door? Oh,
I just like the St. Elsewhere thing, so I'm going to keep my hand down. What do you guys think?
I like the snow globe. I have to admit, I'm all for a happy grumpy, but
The St. Elsewhere thing is just too good. Well, here, you get to pick a prize. So
pick a prize. Come on up.
What do you want here? Do you want the cookies? Do you want the graphic novel? The CD? That's the hoodie actually is the grand prize. So
I'll keep this safe for now. Oh man, that's a nice one.
Cookies are good. Cookies?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, we got
Excellent.
cookies going on.
Enjoy.
Okay.
Nobody
Let's
wins, I'll just
see,
take the hoodie myself.
Green overalls, I think, over there. Yeah, if you want to come up. Oh, here we go. I'll come over here.
That's the fun corner of the room over there.
Selena's gonna have her baby, and then Rumpelstiltskin is gonna think that it's so cute and ditch Belle and be with Selena.
I like that one.
Yes, I'll keep her.
Okay, so I guess, guys, show of hands. Is she the new winner, or do we keep him and
Yeah.
lose her?
I like her.
Yeah, probably.
That's
So,
a good one.
Yeah, you're in the lead right now. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Go ahead and pick. What prize do you want? The graphic novel. Okay. What's
Yes,
your name again?
indeed.
Curtis. I saw you at the ball last. Definitely. Well, thank you very much.
Rigged or planned or
No. Well, you didn't win the grand prize, so obviously it wasn't rigged or planned. Okay.
We're
so
all winners.
If you want to go ahead and come up here.
Winners are winners. Don't forget that.
Okay. Next person. Parental advisory T-shirt, right back there.
Dance squad. Let's go dance squad.
Dun, dun.
So I was thinking that in the final season of the show, they're going to bring Jafar on as the final villain. And he's going to try and change the laws of magic like he did in Once in Wonderland. And he's going to bring all of the villains that have been on the past in the show. And that's just going to be like the final arc of the show. And they're going to have to try and solve everything going on.
I like that. We were actually talking in the Heroes and Villains panel the other day about the potential of maybe like they do like a 2 or 3 episode story arc where they all go to Wonderland would be really cool too. But I'm going to keep my hand down just because I didn't like Jafar very much in Wonderland. But what do you guys think? My hand's down right now. Down.
I want a villain battle dome. I just want like all out, like almost Marvel MCU status. 20 villains versus our heroes.
Crisis
in the
on
woods
Infinite
in
Once Upon a
Storybrooke.
Time.
Yeah, Crisis of Infinite Enchanted Forests.
But so are we
hand
going to
up.
keep her?
I'm going to
or-
keep.
Let's keep her. Let's keep her. I like all the villains, the person who invented spam, everything. That's great. Let's bring them all, everybody.
Okay, so what prize do you want here? Do you want cookies, book,
Got
CD?
Cookies.
Yeah, the cookies
There
are
you
the
go.
good ones.
They're
man.
good.
I want to
Definitely.
cookies.
Yeah,
Thank
if you
you
want to
for
go ahead
playing.
and come up
Excellent
here.
work.
You're the new one. You can come up on that side, I guess. Or you can come on this
Dun, 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 dun,
All right,
dun,
so,
dun.
Okay, let's see here. I'm just making sure there's no one else on this side of the room. Okay, you back there, right there. There we go. Dance Squad is walking away with all the prizes.
Here she
We're
comes.
pitting
Including
Dance
dancing
Squad
with Prince
against
Eric.
each other.
Part of your world.
Oh no.
I have a theory that Goldilocks is Rumpelstiltskin's mom. Her and Peter Pan fell in love, and then she left him because she was like scared, and so then she's gonna come back to Storybrooke one day and like find him, find Rumpelstiltskin.
I like that a lot, and that's something we've never really got the story of what happened to Rumpelstiltskin's mom either. Like, I really like that one, and I like Rumpel, so I like exploring his backstory. So I'm going to put my hand up for that one. What about you guys?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Fair enough. All right, you get to pick a prize, any prize. The CD of video game jazz.
Winner.
Covers. Excellent. And I'm sorry for the people who are going to get stuck with my book. Okay, so let's see. Crazy, you back there, right there, like four or five seats in from the end. Yeah, right there.
I think it'd be fun to start showing the finale right now and have this horde of people just running in.
Trample
That'd be
everybody.
great.
Okay, here you go.
So I had an idea like Rumpelstiltskin takes Zelina's baby and pops it into Belle. So like Belle believes that it's Rumpelstiltskin since they were like previously married. So like she's forced to go back with Rumpel and kind of helps him since its heart is like going dark.
I like that. That's something that there have been some preview clips that have kind of been telling the rules of the book or anything, but they haven't addressed whether, what's going to happen with that baby, right? Because it feels like all the characters are getting recast, but they're still going to be, if they have a scar, they have a scar sort of thing. But what do you guys think? Keep or leave? I'm going to unfortunately leave.
My vote's still for Battle Dome, so I'm not sorry, Battle Dome, but no, Goldilocks.
Okay, Jeff?
I vote nay.
Vote nay. Okay, sorry about that, but let's see here. I think we just have the books left. Sorry about that. Here we go. The Trials of King Sparrow, a fairy tale. bit.ly/King Sparrow, plug. Okay, let's see here. Anybody else? Pink. I think pink. It's hard to see with the lights. The game is narrowing for this hoodie.
I think that Rumpel is going to have, for his happy ending, he's going to have to choose between Belle and having Neil come back, and I think Neil's going to come back.
I love that. Hey, wait.
Whoa,
Stay here. We haven't
where
voted
are you
yet.
going? Hey.
Yeah, because my hand's up in the air.
Yeah,
My hand's way
I
up
like
in the
it.
air.
I like it.
I miss Neil.
Good choice.
So close. Thank you very much, though. And yeah, if you want to go ahead and come up here, and we have one prize left, and then whoever's left up here gets the hoodie. So anyone want to try sunglasses back there? There you go, second row back there.
It's down to 2.
That's Ms. Sunglasses.
What's that?
That's Ms. Sunglasses.
Yes. Miss Sunglasses at Night, I think is her full name. Excellent. Okay, here you go.
I feel that with Zelina's new baby, I feel like she's sketchy with it. Like, I feel that the baby's not Robin's. It might be Rumpel's.
That would be even a wickeder twist than the wicked twist that we got a couple weeks ago. I'm going to keep my hand down just because I don't want that to happen. But what do you guys think?
Pulling one over on Robin again. I mean, I kind of like when he suffers a little bit. Like
Robin Hood is a character who lives in anguish.
no, I love it.
Sure.
I know it's great.
What do you think?
Do I want to just continue to ruin his life?
What's that?
Do I just want to continue to think about ruining his life? I don't know, but Neil, man, I miss Neil.
Neil would be good to have back, and my co-host Anne Marie would want Neil back.
Oh,
too.
Anna
She
Marie
loves
would be
Neil.
psyched if Neil was back.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Neil back would break the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure. And
Literally.
Twitter.
Not Kim Kardashian.
We wouldn't be able to talk about it on the internet because it would break the internet. So.
I say nay.
I want to see Neil
So
back.
sad,
I'm
so
sorry.
bad. But here's a book. Thank you very much, and you win the hoodie. Congratulations!
Yes.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it in good stead. And you should probably sue them too because they stole your idea.
But wait,
No.
but I want to see this though. I need to hear the other half of your theory. What's going to happen to Belle if Rumple doesn't get his happy ending with her and he has to choose? What's going to happen to Belle? You got to have thought of it.
Go to
She'd probably get
Wonderland.
killed in like the.
Oh, that's true. True.
Yeah, but weren't the wasn't that during the Ogre Wars too? Maybe she might get off during the Ogre Wars too, potentially.
Well, yeah. I mean, she got the whole thing with Will going on now too, but I kind of want to see like if there was the choice, what would that play out for her? Does she?
Will, don't get me started on Will Scarlet. Such a waste of a character this season, and such a great character on Wonderland.
Bill, how do you feel about Will?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me
What
how you
happened
really
to
feel.
Anastasia?
Tell me how you really feel about Will Scarlet.
I think he's cute. I think he's dreamy, honestly. No, actually, something that we brought up in Heroes and Villains, I should probably throw out here just in case it turns out to be right. I think that Will is related to the author somehow, and that
I
he
hope
was
so.
breaking into the library because he knows there's a connection between physical books and other realms. Yeah, and so I think he's going to become a bigger character next season for sure.
I hope they give him some more to work for next season. He kind of just was a sad drunk man this whole time.
Well, then you have a thief, and then this page appears. I started to kind of put things together, but if he's related to the author, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I guess we'll wrap up here talking just a little bit about fan casting in general and doing a podcast about a particular fandom and everything, as me and Jeff do, and as Becca. I mean, she's been on the show a bunch of times.
I'm just here.
She's a good talker as well. But Jeff, what's your general approach in analyzing the show on the podcast and everything?
Things that really jump out to me. What's nice is there are a lot of great Once Upon a Time podcasts out there. So I don't have to kill myself and scrutinize every single thing because there's a lot of, it's like ice cream, chocolate, tutti frutti, whatever you want.
Whatever your taste.
And we take the things that really resonate with us and we discuss things that I think affect us in real life. Talk about love, about revenge, how dangerous is going down the wrong path, these warnings in life. And so that's kind of how we take it. So we enjoy that.
Yeah, as far as us, our fans have described us as absurdist slapstick, and it feels like an after party, more or less. But we try and keep it light. We have a good time. We're very jokey, if you couldn't tell. But we basically just because we want to walk very carefully on the line of because we understand that everyone has very passionate feelings about this, and we want to come off in our criticism of the show and our analysis of the show as fair as possible. So we follow three basic rules and answer three basic questions. And that was what was done, how well was it done, and was it worth doing? I forget, I looked up the proper pronunciation of his name, Goth, I think, or Gautier or something, about a big theater think tank kind of guy. But what was done, you have to identify the genre. This is genre. This is things like that. Like, for example, Once Upon a Time, it's a primetime TV show on ABC geared towards a family audience. So you have to keep that in context. How well was it done? Did it accomplish that goal? Was it a good primetime television show for family audiences on ABC? And was it worth doing? And that's where you get into more of the personal opinion, like did that suck? Was that good? Et cetera, et cetera. But kind of trying to keep those questions in mind and break it down that way has always been very useful to us to make sure we come across as fair as possible. But sometimes we bitch just to bitch too. It happens. But what have been some of your favorite? Because I mean, the Once fan base is super passionate and everything. What have been some of your favorite listener interactions? I say fan, but they're fans of Once, so they're also fans of the podcast. It's complicated and weird and murky, but not too murky.
Favorite interactions. I think when we get an email from a pilot or a guy in a subway that says they listen and when they're doing their job or traveling, it amazes me because I keep thinking I'm uploading it, and it's 2 guys in Russia listening. And it amazes me when people say, "No, I listened to you, and you were talking about your dog and talking about this." It's amazing to me. So it's all those different places where people listen. I think that's the most fun, incredible thing to me, because it's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, we have a listener named Dave from Michigan. That's his full legal name. But he always calls in Monday morning on his way to work after watching the show, so you always hear like the wind and the traffic and everything. It's a lot of fun. Like I don't know. I just really like it because I mean the longer people write in and stuff, and the more you build these relationships, the more they stop feeling like listeners or people just sending in feedback to get their voice heard, and they start feeling more like friends, which is really cool. And like we have like a kind of tight-knit community of probably like 20 or 25 of our listeners that are just like there every time for us. And it's so nice to know that, no matter how bad work sucks on Monday or whatever, at the end of the day, I get to go sit down in my office and hang out with my friends for an hour to talk about, one of our favorite shows.
I don't want to get too geeky, but I just want to say this, is I've noticed that the listeners ebb and flow. Mm-hmm. When they enjoy the show, they're all in, listening, downloading, tweeting. When Neil dies, the whole thing just goes down.
Just mass sad
flows
sobbing
away,
on the floor.
And things change. And then it comes back with a new kind of a group. So that's what I've noticed is it's not as a tight-knit unit. Season 1 was kind of phenomenal for us. We had that. But then as things kind of progressed into season 2 and 3, and it's a constant kind of a ebb and a flow. And people come, new people leave, and so.
I always hate when I hop into Gmail and like search for something and I see a name I haven't heard from in a while. I'm like, oh man, they must have just drifted off the show or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
I missed them.
Yeah.
We also some of our listeners even help us as far as like producing the podcast too, like that Once If those Once If specials. Those were an idea of one of our listeners who's super active with us and everything, Hope Molinax. By the way, thank you very much, Hope, because she helped arrange us to come here to RegalCon.
Hope rocks.
Oh, for sure. And we share a lot of listeners too, right? Like I'm thinking of ones I've heard on your show that write into ours. Like I think Chris Tipton, Alina Harris, all that. But it's great too because then like actually sometimes like in our chat room when we record, people will bring up like points you brought on your show and Jeff said this, and then we get to kind of respond to you. So it's like a mild kind of back and forth with us without maybe you guys realizing it. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't listen to any other Once podcast until at least after we've done the episode, and then I still kind of try and stray away just because I don't want to repeat content intentionally.
True.
So. Okay, let's see here. What time we got here? It is a 4:43. Okay, we have a couple minutes. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? Or I'm going to sing Part of Your World.
Oh, boy.
No questions. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
No.
Wouldn't you think? Collection's complete.
Unexpected
Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything?
Oh, no.
No, we can't. Into the woods. No, but I guess that's about it then. If you want to check out the podcast, greetings from Storybrooke.com. You can follow me on Twitter, @BillMeeks. And I almost called you Anne-Marie. Becca, you have much shorter hair than she does. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and YouTube at my name, Becca Canote. I think it was like in my little lower third thing. It's on the program. It's in places. It's my name.
Around.
I'm just around. Go on Bill's Twitter. I'm there sometimes too.
Yeah, I gave her the login credentials. It's weird. Jeff, where can people find you online?
Let's go to Twitter @OUAT Podcast. That's where we're the most active, I think.
Excellent. And if you're a regular listener to Greetings from Storybrooke, we'll be doing our episode on the finale Tuesday this week, because I'm going to be flying back from RegalCon tonight right after the finale. I'm actually going to miss the last 5 minutes, which I'm sure something crazy is going to happen. But thank you guys so much, everyone who came out here at RegalCon today and everything. And you guys want to do it with me? Until next time, greetings from Storybrooke. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.